Survivor Specialist Phil and Alexa are back with our Bootlist challenge. Our first fantasy game of it muted. Our first fantasy game of Survivor Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. What a great start for Phil to start it off by hitting the mute button. That's a perfect way to start this podcast.
It can only go up from here.
Can only go up from here. Just keep in mind it is 7:48 over here, and I sound much more chipper than Alexa, who's almost at 11 o'clock over there. So
Just
we can only.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say we can only imagine how Alexa's night was, but she sounds exhausted. She sounds sick. I'm not sure, but she's here. We're bootlisting.
We're talking about the boot list, and then we're gonna watch some football. It's gonna be a great Sunday.
Exactly, and that is why we're doing this so early, is because we just both wanted to really watch football. So we figured, why not give this to you guys super early? We hadn't podcast for like a week and a half, and here we are with the boot list game. Just a quick rundown for anybody who's never done it before. Pretty much all you're doing is you're making a boot list. You're putting from 20 to 1 the order that you think it'll be. So if you put Rourke at 20 and she finishes first, you would get 19 points. 19 points is bad. So you're trying to get as close to 0 as possible without cheating off of a spoiled boot list like I know some of you did last year. This year we will probably definitely know. I don't think there's a spoiled boot list out there yet. I hope there's not a spoiled boot list out there yet. I know the one last year leaked so early that our early boot lists like all looked even the exact same, and I was like, wow. And I think it was one of those early people who won. We will be able to figure it out if you cheat. So we're just do this for fun. Like, this is supposed to be fun. Just do it and enjoy it.
If you're gonna cheat on our Survivor Specialist podcast fantasy game, it's really not worth it. I promise. This game is a lot of fun. It was my first time doing it last year, but it is definitely not worth it to just Google around spoiled boot list so that you could kind of win this like fake game that we play on the internet. So pick your boot list just based on, the week and a half that we have for these people. I was just telling Phil before we went live, last year was my first time doing this podcast. So I started on a returning season. I thought that was hard to craft that boot list, but this is even harder because I'm just picking who goes home based on the few interviews that we've been exposed to.
Yeah, and last year, this is just to give some hindsight. I don't even know what the word is. How Phil and Will had done in the past. Neither of us ever did very well. I think I beat Will every time in the boot list. And then last year, we did this podcast with Vaughn Stewart because this was the Kickstarter podcast that he was able to come on. And he destroyed us. Like, he absolutely killed us. And his reasoning was
the floor with us.
Yeah, so that's probably why he killed us.
Which is why he was not invited to this one, because Phil and I need to get our egos back up.
But are we going to see Vaughn again soon? Maybe.
To be determined.
To be determined. We don't want to get all your hopes
tuned.
up. Don't want to get all your hopes up too high, but if you were shaking the magic 8 ball, would probably say very likely.
Shake again.
Yeah, shake again. Not enough.
Shake again, or is it, I forget what it says. Try again.
I don't remember. Anyway, we're talking about magic 8 balls. This is what happens. All right, we're here. Let's do it. Let's start it off. Alexa, you want to do the honors since this is your first time doing it? Do you want to start off with your 18?
I would love to, because 18 might be the only one that I'm confident about. So my 18, I have Simone, and I feel like there is probably a number of people who have her there. From what I've read, I've been reading a lot of the Hollywood Reporter. A lot of the Hollywood Reporter articles, and what they do is they'll interview someone, and then they'll interview all the other castaways and give their first impressions. And all of Simone's first impressions are her impressions of these other castaways are very loud. That's the word that comes to mind. And they're not inaccurate. A bunch of them are pretty realistic, but they're very negative. There haven't been a lot of, I want to work with this person, or there haven't been a lot of like, this person could be inspiring, could be good to work with, could be great in challenges. There's usually a paragraph to what she says, and it's really just not always positive. And so I just fear for her in that I think she may have a very strong personality, and she's on a tribe full of strong personalities on this Hustlers group, and I really don't see much of a path for her.
Yeah, Simone's going to be interesting. I don't have her at 18. I know I was low on her, and I think I called that she'd be the first boot, like when we were talking about in the cast assessment, which the link is in the bio. If you still want to go and listen to that one, you should. But at my 18, I actually have Lauren, mainly because I feel like this Hustlers tribe is probably the one that's going to lose more. I could see the healers losing as well. I feel like the heroes are pretty set for a little bit. But like the healers, I could see losing just because they have Mike and he might drag them down, but I feel like he can do a puzzle for his life. The Hustlers are weird to me, and I don't know how they're going to work together. And I feel like Lauren could be the outcast there. She could also be the older woman who ends up being like fitting into like not the mom role, but just the respected older woman role. And I love saying older woman as she's 35. But like I feel like she could definitely fit into like a role on this tribe. But if I had to say like where is she going to place, I would say more often than not, Lauren is going to finish low in this season. So I'm going to put her at 18 because to me, she just seems like the one who would lose the most.
Yeah, she as in her tribe.
Yeah, she would lose, her tribe. And then even if she does go like a little bit further, like I just have a hard time seeing her like hitting a merge and making it so super deep.
Yeah, I get that. I have Lauren at 15, so I have her kind of in the same area. But why I have her a bit higher is because just based on history, I'm envisioning we're going to have 2 boots and then we're going to do a shakeup and go out to 2 tribes. I think Lauren can last longer than Simone in this first tribal council. And then I think, like you said, I don't see the heroes losing a challenge, especially if there's only going to be 2 immunity challenges. So I envision the healers losing too. So in that case, we have 1 hustler gone, we have 1 healer gone. We break it up, and Lauren might have that chance.
Yeah, exactly. And what's going to end up happening, it's going to be interesting if the heroes do win the first 2. We always see what ends up happening is when the swap hits, it's always like the tribe that has more people is the one that gets targeted. So the heroes could actually find themselves in trouble by being good. And it's going to be interesting how those personalities fit together. Because like I said, like this whole Chrissy Ben thing, I'm telling you, I really hope that this ends up being like a cool little storyline because I don't think either of them is bad. I think both of them are going to be really fun. And I did see a lot of comments about the whole Chrissy thing. How is she a hero? And I get it. I mean, I totally get it. You know, she's like a woman who's in this field that many women aren't. So like, I understand where they're coming from with her being a hero. I still think that by putting her on the heroes tribe, it's a lot more explaining to do than the other people who are on this tribe, which is just what puts her at a bit of a disadvantage. So I have Chrissy low too, which I'm talking about mainly because I feel like you're right on this swap. I feel like there's going to be a swap that's going to hit, and it's going to affect this heroes tribe that probably won't lose early, but they're also going to have infighting that's going to end up killing them. So at my 17, I have Roark. Is Roark? I really don't know.
Roark? I think it's Roark. I actually really like that name. I've never heard it before.
Me either. And I actually really like Roark, but I just feel like there's something where like she's out of touch with something. So I'm putting her at 17 because I feel like if there's going to be somebody who's going to have a hard time like fitting in with a lot of people on this season, it's going to be her. Because a lot of these people seem pretty down to earth. So I don't know. I just feel like, and I don't not necessarily think Rourke's not down to earth. I mean, she's a social worker. She definitely has social skills. I just don't think that she's the right person for Survivor more than anything.
Which is funny because she is probably the person who knows Survivor. She's probably one of the people who knows Survivor the best on this season. Just based on what I've read about her, just based on the interviews that she's had, and based on her being the one, whenever there's an interview, she brings up previous Survivor castaways. I think she really knows it, which is kind of funny that you said that. I have Rourke a little bit higher, but that Healers tribe it's a weird group of 6. And I know we said this on our first cast assessment, but I don't really know where the relationships come in on that Healers tribe. So I totally get you putting her number 17. My number 17 is also on the Healers tribe, but I have it as Jessica. I think I just rewatched her video, and she lost me at I'm a big talker, and my parents told me I'm a big talker, and I wouldn't even in any world I wouldn't compare her to Wendy from Nicaragua. But if that's in your 2-minute video that we're getting, that's not too great. And so I fear that because that was brought up, that's going to bite her in the butt very early on.
I love how much higher I have Jessica than you. It's going to be great. But yeah. I really like Jessica, and I didn't really rewatch the videos. I just kind of like let it like sink in. And actually, Jessica was one of the videos that like stood out to me originally. And I think I think Jessica, yeah, the talking could hurt her, but she's on like a tribe with like all talkers. Like you got Mike, who's clearly just a talker, Joe, who's a talker, Cole and Desi, maybe not so much, but they're definitely like, I feel like they're all going to have something like in common here, and that is that they're all pretty big talkers. So I don't really fear for her too early, and I actually think that she could be like somebody that you look at as like a goat who can get dragged for a really long time in this game, or she could be in control and end up winning the thing if her talking doesn't end up annoying everybody. So I really like Jessica, but
I'm very excited to see where you put her.
Yeah, you'll see. At my 16, I'll jump ahead of you again one more time because I have Simone at 16. So I still think Simone's going to finish low, but I think Simone has more upside than Lauren. Like, I feel like Simone is somebody who could, like, fit in and end up finishing, like, 4th or 5th. And I got totally burned on Aubrey back in Co-Rom because Will and I both put Aubrey at 18, and Aubrey goes on to finish 2nd. So, like, that one I got totally burned on, and we were, like, so confident Aubrey was going to suck. But we, like, didn't look at any of the positives to Aubrey's personality. And I feel like that's what I was doing with Simone. So I'm going to throw Simone at 16. She's going to end up being the Aubrey slash Michelle. She's going to end up what? She's going to end up being the Aubrey slash Michelle. What's her name from Millennials vs. Gen X? Because both of them I was like bad, boring, don't like them. And then they both went on to like actually. I mean, I know Michelle was not nearly as much as Aubrey, but she was actually a very likable character who like made some decent moves and just got stuck on a tribe where she was just completely outnumbered. But I feel like that could be Simone. So you know what? Like, I got to keep running with this whole thing. And yeah, I only put her at 16, but you watch. I'm saying it now. You watch. Simone will be the one who ends up winning because Phil said, dang, she sucks.
Dang, she sucks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can kind of get that. But I like how you always have someone who you pick to be at the end, and then they go to the top. And then you always get, is it the blindfold challenge you always get wrong in the prop bet?
Yeah, I can't wait to do the prop bet next week so I can just get the blindfold thing out of the way. Who should I pick to be? I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to pick the blindfold thing literally out of a hat, and that'll be the first thing I pick. So that if it's wrong, that'd actually be fun.
Yeah, let's make it interactive.
It's fate's fault at that point.
All right, so I'll go on to my number 16. So I actually have Ashley at number 16. I'm again reading a lot of her Hollywood Reporter interviews. She seems very stuck in her ways, and she has kind of said that about herself. And I know Lauren had said that. I know a bunch of other people had said this on this, but I don't know. I fear for her because I think she has a very strong personality, and I think everyone senses that she has a strong personality. I think is it Desi or Desi?
I'm going to say Desi until we actually hear her name
said. Until someone tells us that we're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was Desi was saying that. I don't know how much like physical interaction they have with each other, but obviously they're together before they go out on the island. And Desi said that she and her had some, I don't know, just awkward interaction. And I think Desi has a very good read on people. I think she really knows what she's talking about. And every single person has said that Ashley seems intimidating. She keeps to herself. And maybe that's just how she was in the pregame. But I don't know. I think if we have a tribe swap, she's strong, but there are a lot of strong people on this season. So I don't know how much that can help her.
I totally agree. And I think Ashley's in an interesting spot here because I don't think she's weak, but I don't think she's the strongest. I don't think she's the worst social player, but I don't think she's the best. Sometimes those people go on to win the thing, but then there's other times where they end up being like an Alexis from Kagayan, where like she wasn't bad at the game, she just wasn't the best, and she's just kind of like she's kind of like a forgettable pre-merge boot. And I could see Ashley kind of going that way. Like she's on this season on the Heroes tribe. She could be somebody who they just look at and say, you know, we really don't need her. Like if there's a swap and she ends up on the wrong side of numbers, she could be gone. I have no read on Ashley really, and I do think that she has the potential to be a very fun character, but I have like so little read, and I know I only watch 2-minute videos, so what does it really matter? But I don't know. Ashley's a strange one for me. I have her higher than you mainly because I was like, this is the girl that I just have to put in the middle. I really don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of people floating in the middle, so I'm kind of just like taking it. I know my bottom and I kind of know my top, but the people in the middle, I sort of just wrote them down, and I'm going to keep shuffling them as we get closer.
Yeah, exactly. And then at 15, you had Lauren, right? So you kind of already talked about that.
Yeah, 15, I had Lauren, and I think we've kind of talked about her.
Yeah. So at 15, I have Mike, who I think could be so much fun, but I just think he's doomed. I think he's going to get like the Varner Cambodia edit where it's like for 4 episodes, he is just fire, and then he's just gone. Like he's going to be a really entertaining character. He's going to have a lot of fun stories to tell. He's going to have a really good underdog at it, but he's still going to go home pre-merge. That's just how I feel. It's bound to happen for Mike. Mike is this huge goofball guy who's brilliant, but he's also still got a little bit of arrogance to him. I mean, he thinks he knows the most about Survivor out of everybody out there because he's watched it since season 1. It's like, that means nothing. Like, that means absolutely nothing. And I think that could hurt him. I think he's going to go out there with this like false sense of like intelligence on the game. And that might actually bite him in the ass when he starts talking to people saying, oh, I know so much about this. I could see him being that guy. And because he's trying to be the funny guy, because he is a funny guy. And I think it's just going to bite him right in the ass.
Mike, I couldn't really figure out what to do with Mike. I have him at 14. So I'm kind of in the exact same boat. But he's a lot of people, like Chrissy said she was applying since season 1. I think it was Katrina said she's been applying since season 1. There are a lot of people who've been watching Survivor since season 1. And then for people like me or people like us who were really young when season 1 aired, we can watch it. Like Rourke can definitely just go on CBS All Access, here's our plug, and watch any episode of any season that she wants. So I know we're running with that, but I like Mike. I hope we get a lot out of him. But yeah, I'm a little nervous about him too. And especially just this cast is a bunch of athletes and it's not just the Heroes tribe. And I think that's a big disadvantage for the people who aren't built like Cole.
No, I totally agree. I think that's like really spot on is like Mike I don't know where he's going to fit in. And that comes down to my next one is Chrissy. I have her at 14 because I really just don't know where she's going to fit in on this tribe. Like, I don't think that they're bad people or necessarily bad players. I just look at it as they're both loud. Like Chrissy is a talkative person. She's very loud about her beliefs. Mike is a talkative person. He's very loud he wants to be the center of attention. And those types of people on this show normally are the ones who cause a riff. And let's say Chrissy gets in a fight with Ben, which I'm thinking is going to happen. Ben is probably a little bit more valuable on that tribe in the early stages when it comes to physicalness. And the same thing with Mike. He is by far the weakest person on that tribe. Like, if you just look at that tribe up and down, it's the Abs tribe and Mike. So, like, that's where I feel like I put these people here. But these are the people who, if they get a good swap, they can easily go deep in this game. Chrissy could easily win this game. I don't think Mike has a chance to win, but I think Chrissy is somebody who could win the game. And so for me, like, I'm going to be interested to see where she ends up. She's actually probably more of my Michelle because she's kind of the one that I've been the hardest on. Like Simone, I just didn't really like her video. But like Chrissy, I've been kind of hard on being like, I don't get how she's going to have a path, but I do think that she has a lot of potential in this season.
Yeah, I think I'm not looking too much into the tribes because I feel like they're going to be broken up so quickly. And that's what's been happening with these like loud themed seasons. So I'm trying to look at a bigger picture. Who knows if I actually am, but I have Chrissy very, very high. So that's going to be another, she's, again, like you said, she could either go down first or she could win. So I guess I have her closer to the winning column. Okay. Have you done your number? What number are you on?
I'm on 13, so this will probably be like the merge boot. You already said Mike at 14, so I'll just go to Devin here. I have Devin at 13. This is probably like around the merge boot. And I feel like the Hustlers and like whatever's left, I don't necessarily think that Devin's going to be like everybody's favorite on this season. I feel like Devin's kind of like the Taylor where it's like, oh yeah, we like him, but like
I feel like we're pigeonholing him into Taylor, though.
We are pigeonholing him into Taylor, but I don't really have a problem doing it when I have 2 minutes to base him on and have to throw him out there. And I think that he's going to go around the merge no matter what. Like, I don't see him going to, like, 5th place. I see him as, like, 10th to 14th. Like, I don't really see – he was like Ozzy on Game Changers where it was like, I don't see him going any further than 10th place, but I don't see him going any earlier than 15th place. Like, he's going to finish in that range, and that's how I feel about Devin. I feel like he's bound to finish in that range.
Yeah, I get that. And once you hit the merge, in a way, it does become about these challenge beasts. And right now, we still have Devin, we still have Cole, we still have Alan, we still have Ben, we still have Desi, Ali. We still have a lot of athletic people in the Katrina. Merge. Yeah, a freaking Olympian. And so eventually that's going to have to be whittled down. I have Devin a little higher than you. I have Rourke at number 13, and that kind of goes back to my previous comment about this girl really knows the game. I think she's going to come out pretty strong, and I envision a Sarah Cagayan merge boot situation. She's like running around trying to make something happen, and then all of a sudden everyone says, wait a minute, let's just get her out instead, and that's how she's going to go. That's how I envision Rourke going home.
Yeah, and I could see it. I mean, she could also be, I mean, we've seen it in the last 2 seasons where the boot at the merge is kind of like a throwaway boot where it's like that's the easiest person to get off. It was Haley, it was Michelle. Mm-hmm. It's the easiest person to get rid of at that time, so they end up doing it. Before that, it was Neil getting medevac. So like our merge boots haven't been all that exciting in recent seasons. Like that always used to be like a, oh my God, the merge finally hit. Like what's going to happen? And really recently, it's just kind of been like, yeah, we knew it. Like we knew that was going to happen. What was it the season before that was Cass? And like, that was another one where you're like, yeah, we knew Cass was going home here. Like, this isn't surprising. This isn't shocking because they mix up the tribe so much now that, yeah, you have to get the position at the merge, but half the time you're still sitting there going, okay, like I'm not surprised. I'm not devastated. Like Haley goes home and you're just like, sure, whatever.
I mean, to be fair, that might have been one of the angrier podcasts we've ever done.
Yeah, I know.
We were, I mean, yeah, I guess the players were like, okay, let's get rid of Haley. But Phil and Alexa were like, what? Like, why? How? Like, that was a fun podcast.
That's very funny that you say that's like one of the angriest podcasts we've ever done. It's coming off the heels of the Varner Zeke thing. Like literally the week after the Varner Zeke thing. And that's our angriest podcast.
Yeah, we were very upset about Haley going home.
Screw Haley and everybody with her. No, but that, so I'm curious. I'm hoping that this season goes back to like the merge boot is like a Sarah Lucina boot where you're like, yes, like here we go. This is exciting. People like, played idols
clapping at tribal council.
Yeah, exactly. People are playing idols wrong. People are doing dumb stuff. And somehow Sarah goes home who thought she was in the swing position. Those are the really fun episodes. And we haven't really had a great merge boot in a while. I would say probably the last great merge boot was San Juan del Sur when it was Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah. So wait, was it Jeremy or Josh? It was Josh. Josh went first.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Yeah, Josh went first.
Yeah, someone tell us.
Someone look that up. It was Josh. I haven't watched San Juan del Sur. I need Will. Will had just watched San Juan del Sur before he went and did his thing.
And we were close to rewatching San Juan del Sur.
We were. You guys.
I'm really glad we rolled with Panama and Guatemala instead.
I'm gonna look this up because I got to make sure now. Now I'm
okay. You look it up. So I'm on. I can do my 10, 11, 12 pretty quickly.
Go for it. Yeah, it was Josh.
So I have. Oh, okay. There we go. We were wrong and we corrected.
Actually, Julie quit as the merge boot.
Oh man.
So we'll call it Josh because that was like
because that was an actual boot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So 12, 11, 10, bottom top. I go Alan, Cole, Devin because, like you said, this is our Aussie danger zone. We need to like name this that right after the merge danger zone for athletic guys. I think people are going to look at Alan. They know he's a football player. Every single person already can tell. And you have Cole, who's built like a Greek god. And those three are, I mean, it's whoever doesn't win immunity. I think they're just going to knock them out one by one. And I don't like it. And I'm not saying it's right, but it's a tough position to be in for them.
Yeah, and the only good thing about it is if all these strong people do hit the merge, there's so many people that it might actually benefit them because one of them is going to be valuable to an alliance. And I have mine picked out. At my 12, I'll go through my 12 to 10 because I did a very similar thing to you. But at my 12, I have JP, and I love JP. I think JP is great. I think JP was like my second winner pick behind Allie. But in this Bootlist game, I'm going to put JP at 12 because he's the one. He's like the non-Aussie, where I could see him winning the game, but I could also see him finishing right before the merge because they're like, we got to get rid of this strong guy right before the merge hits. And he's super strong, and he's super likable, all this stuff. So I feel like I could see him going early, but I could also see him winning, whereas like with Devin, I just don't see the winning part of it. My 11, for very similar reasons, I have Ryan because he's just so buff. No, I put Ryan at 11 because I feel like Ryan – This is like when you do the boot list, I just hedge my bets the whole time. Like Will the one time did like he went down and did like a fan fiction and was just like, oh yeah. So then at this point, they get to the swap and they did. And like my whole thing when I do the boot list and the reason I beat him every time in the boot list is because I'm just hedging my bets. And Ryan could easily finish 5th place. I don't see Ryan winning the game. Ryan could also easily be the first boot But based on how much screen time we've seen of him, I feel like he's going to be a huge part of the season. But then again, on Millennials versus Gen X, Zeke finished, what, 10th place?
And we
11th
got
place, 9th place. I think it was 9th place because it was right after the Rock draw. So Zeke finished 9th place, and he was hyped up to be this crazy great player. And so was Michaela, who finished 14th. So, like, I could see Ryan doing something similar to that, but just being so great entertainment-wise that he's just going to be a big part of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because Zeke got a ton of hype, and Michaela did too. And Michaela was a pre-merch boot.
Yeah.
I have a whole conspiracy theory about Ryan, so I'll get to him.
Okay. And then at 10 I have Ben. I do think Ben I feel like Ben's going to find his footing on this season, and I just don't know how long he's going to be able to keep going before like he finally starts to be like, okay, I've had enough of this. Cuz like it kind of seemed like that was him in the video where he was like, all right, like what did he say? They're like, he was one with two sides to him, right? Like I know Alan had the grizzly bear and the whatever, but Ben, I don't know. There's just something with Ben just makes me say like something's going to blow up at some point, and Ben's going to be at the center of it. And I just feel like he's just going to be like, he seems like a chill, calm guy, but like I could totally just see him getting like worn down by this and just being like, not the elements, but the people more than anything.
I have a very different read on Ben. I really think, I think I totally get where you're coming from on that, but everyone's first impression of Ben is that they love him. So for a lot of people to say that, and for people to say, I love him, but to not say, I want to get rid of him right afterwards, says a lot about just his demeanor. I think he has a very calm demeanor, and anyone on the island can blow up, as we've seen 34 seasons later. But for some reason, I see him being a really calming force, and I see him having that unlikely alliance with someone, that Will and Sunday kind of alliance, who on paper, it doesn't make sense why they would interact, but I have really high hopes for Ben. I have him. It could also higher than you.
I could also see him being like the Chris to a Zeke, where it's like, oh wow, they have this alliance, this is crazy, and then he ends up getting blindsided anyway because there's no way to make it work. His guy too. Yeah, exactly. Alexa, you're getting blown up over there.
Oh, I forgot it's right by the mic.
Right by the mic. And then I'll just do my 9 real quick because you already used her. I have Ashley. This is right where I put her smack in the middle because I really have no idea. That's my reason.
Okay, that works. Yeah, my 7, 8, 9 are kind of just like, I don't really know why I'm doing this. I have Katrina at number 9, and I really don't have a reason why. I don't know if she can win. She has that, what the heck's her name? From Guatemala. We just watched Guatemala. Who won the car?
Oh, Cindy.
Cindy. I had Christy in my head. I see a Cindy vibe from her because in her interviews, it's just, I want this experience I'm having. This is so fun. I can't believe I'm getting to do this. And I really like that because I think that seems to fit with the personality that we've been shown for Katrina. But I don't know. I don't think she can win. And I think her going out might be one of those situations where everyone thinks they can win. And then it's like, wait a second, but Kimmy could win. Let's get rid of Kimmy.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like Sunday. Like, let's get rid of Sunday. She's definitely going to win. Even though we didn't see Sunday winning, she absolutely could have. And so I think it might just be Katrina's all good. It's all good. And then someone's just going to say, no, she's got to go.
Yeah, and Katrina for me, I have Katrina at 7, so not much different than where you have Katrina. Katrina for me, I just hope that she doesn't get perceived as like kind of annoying because she's very loud in like what she wants to do. And maybe we're both just thinking the first Olympian to play on the show was like a really bad Survivor player. So maybe that's like what's stuck in our head is like they're putting another Olympian on this season. Is she going to be like as bad as Crystal Cox was at the game? As much fun as Crystal was to watch, she is a horrible Survivor player. So like I wonder, like, is Katrina gonna like maybe I'm just like biased now against like Olympians on Survivor, and I'm saying to myself, how is Katrina gonna blow this more than how is she gonna do well? But I have her at 7 because she's gonna be strong. Yeah, she's older, but she's a damn Olympian. Like you don't lose all of that. Like Olympic runners, when like they're running like really fast when they're in their 20s, they like look at like what's his name, Bernard Lagat or whatever. He's a marathon, or he's like a half marathon guy, a 10K guy, running these like at the age of like 35 or something, and still winning golds. Like you don't just lose that. because it's something that it takes a toll on your body, but in a different way than like football. Like Alan Ball, I could see walking around and like literally not being able to feel his knees halfway through this season. But like Katrina, I don't see that happening, and I think she's going to be strong. I think she's going to be likable. I think she's going to be fun around camp. I just think actually if she goes home, it's going to be because she's a threat to win. So I have her at 7. And my 8 is Allen, who I just talked about with his knees. I think Allen is going to do the best out of anybody who played in the NFL other than Gary Hogebo. Like I think he's going to be a bigger personality than Grant. He's going to be a bigger personality than Steve. He's going to be better. He's going to be a better player than probably Cliff. I mean, in terms of entertainment wise and professional athletes who have played on the show, I'm putting him up there with like Jeff Kent and Gary Hogeboom, as opposed to those other people who I just mentioned. I really think Allen's going to be okay.
I'm a little nervous for Allen, and I know I put him. I have him going home because he's an athlete, but he seems like you said, there could be an explosion. I could see Allen being at the center of that rather than Ben.
He was the grizzly bear, right? Like he said, like he's a teddy bear and then he's a grizzly bear. Or was that Ben? That was Allen. Okay.
Yeah, or maybe we should probably rewatch these videos.
Yeah, I forget who it was. Who said that?
Someone tell us. I can. Did you do 7 and 8, or did you just do 8?
I did 7 and 8 because 7 was Katrina.
I'll do my 7 and 8 because they're kind of in my I'm not sure where to put them zone. I put Joe at 7 and Patrick at 8. And Joe, like we said, is a talker, and Patrick actually seems very subtle. I have not much of a read on.
Wait, so you have Patrick at 7 or 8? Sorry,
Patrick's at 8. Joe's at 7.
Got it.
There you go. Sorry. I really don't know what to do with Patrick. He seems like he has a more contained personality, which is probably good considering who I have left in the game at this point. And that could be a good thing, but I think it could be a similar case where he really could put in a good case to win. He already has a really great story just going into this. He's athletic, he seems like a very easygoing personality. So that can take him so far. And then I think someone's going to turn around and say, wait a second, how is this guy still in Alliance? We got to get rid of him.
Yeah, and Patrick and Joe, I ended up, as I was typing this up, I was just like, oh, cool, okay, cool. And I was like, how the hell are Patrick and Joe still in my thing? Because Joe feels like he's trying to be like Tony 2.0. Like, I know there's this whole article that came out in Connecticut about like how like what he said his job isn't his job at all. Like, he is like a probation officer, but like he doesn't do what he said he does. And like, this is what I hate so much about our society right now. He was clearly saying that to get on the TV show. Like, that was the point of this. Like, obviously, like if I go, I'm going to say that I got stuff thrown at me and I was hit by like things, staplers were thrown at my head so that I can get on the show. Like, that's what it's about. Like, that's not necessarily what an assistant in Hollywood has happened to them. But you play it up because you're telling a story to get onto the show. You're playing a character even though these are real people. And people get so offended by that type of thing. And this isn't like when Alicia said her thing about her kids, which was horrible because you're supposed to be helping those kids and you go out and you say what she said. It's like, come on. But this to me is like
it's embellishment.
Yeah, this is like a harmless lie where it's like, of course he's going to do this. He wants to get on the show. Why are we making such a big deal out of this? Like, clearly, I doubt he's going out there like, man, I'm supposed to be helping these probation people. Put him in jail. Let's trick him. No, but that's what the game is, and that's what you have to tell people so you can get on the game. It's not like he's going out there saying, like, I'm a bounty hunter. I shoot people in the head. Like, Jason could have easily said that, but instead Jason just said, I'm a bounty hunter. I grab him and throw him in the back of the car and drive him away. And it's like, sure you do, Jason. Sure you do. Like, I buy it. Sure. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
let us run with it.
It is what it is. So Joe, I have at 5. I think Joe's going to be a really fun character on this season. I'm looking forward to watching Joe play. I have Cole at 6, which Cole was the one where, like, as I was typing this out, I really was like, okay, Cole's still around. And I wasn't a huge fan of Cole in the cast assessment, but I don't know, something about Cole. I just feel like he could be like an Adam Gentry, where it's like, how is he still in the game? You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, okay, cool. Like, he's there, and like, what's he doing? Like, like, you always know Cole's not going to beat you. He's Eddie Fox. You know he's not going to beat you. So, like, let's keep him around and let's use him for as long as we can. And then when he has to go, and we'll just get rid of him then. That's how I feel about Cole.
Okay, I can get that. My number 6 is for a very similar reason. I just have JP there. I know you're really hot on him, but I don't know. I'm not getting a great read on him. I'm getting a very meh vibe from him.
Which is so funny because I have him at 12 and you have him at 6.
Yeah, I know. And I'm the one with the meh vibe. I just envision him like just being in the – that's the thing. Like the people who – it's doing well versus going far are two completely different things. But yeah, I really just don't – I don't have a vibe on him whatsoever. All of his answers seem very generic, very cookie cutter. I don't see a lot of – and maybe – with all these loud personalities, his just seems more dulled down. But I don't know. I really don't.
He could be Tyler. That's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say Tyler. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, he could be a Tyler.
Yeah, because that's what Tyler was. When they got to Ponderosa, it was like, Tyler can win, Tyler can win, Tyler can win. And you're like, wait, really? What? Yeah, when did that happen?
Yeah.
And who you got at 5?
So my number 5, all right, I have your girl Allie at number 5.
Wow.
I think she's going to do really, really well. What's up?
Way too low.
Yeah. Well, I didn't pick her as my winner, but yeah, I think she could totally win. And I think there are a lot of smart people left in my top 5. And I think she doesn't win an immunity. She's that person who you bring really, really far because she's really great and she's a great player. And then you dump her at the end. She gets the Sari treatment.
Maybe. I actually have a different reason for Allie, and I don't have her as my winner here, which is funny because I came out so hot saying winner pick, winner pick, winner pick. I don't have her as my winner here. I don't. And I think that I'll still keep her. I'll still say Allie is like my winner pick for the season. But for all these little games, I probably won't put Allie as my winner once. Mm-hmm. It's not happening here. So there's a spoiler for you guys. Because you know what I actually think with Allie? I actually think Allie could go the other way, where I think she could play really well. But I also think that she could be one of those people who like just for some reason ends up on the wrong side of something and ends up getting 3rd place. That's where I have her. I have Allie at 3. Not 1, not 2. I have her at 3. Because I could see her being somebody who gets to the end and just like loses. But I don't necessarily know if she's going to have what it takes to keep it together the entire time and win. And make like enough moves that it's worthy of a win. Like, she could be likable, but Troyzan was likable, and Troyzan got 0 votes and absolutely annihilated at that final tribal council. So, like, I could see that happening with Allie. But I don't know. So she's my 3, so I'll say my 4 too, and then I only have my top 2 left. My number 4 is Jessica.
Wow.
Yeah, I really like Jessica. I really do. I didn't think I liked her as much when I just watched her video, but like the more I thought about it and then like the more I looked at the cast, I was like, you know what? Jessica's the one who's coming out there. She's like, I want everything. I want this to just be a part. I want to just be a part of everything. I think that's a good personality to have because you've seen it recently. There's huge fans of the show that have been playing, and they all seem to do pretty well because like they have that ability to just let things roll off their back. They're not mad about every little move that happens. You know, Chris got mad on his season, but then when Zeke actually got out there and was able to talk to him, Chris was like, you know what? Okay, you're right. Like, I can't believe I'm being like this. I feel like this cast is going to have that kind of roll off the back mentality again. And I feel like she is one of those people who can really do it. And she might be talkative and she might be loud, but I think she's going to be somebody who can use that to her advantage as opposed to being bad for her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a really good assessment.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, it's wrong.
Otherwise, I'm right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So my number 4, I have Ben. And I think Ben is going to do so well this season because I kind of talked about him earlier, so I don't need to go into it again. But I think we're going to have a final 3, and Ben's not going to win immunity, and they're going to get rid of him because Ben is going to win if you bring him to the top. So that's why I have Ben going at number 4. And my 3, 2, 1, they're all kind of interconnected. So I can do this together, or you can go first, whichever one.
No, you can go first because I only have 1 and 2 left. So you might as well just do your top 3.
So I have Ryan at number 3, Chrissy at number 2, and Desi at number 1. And Desi's my winner pick, so I do have her at number 1. And she did kind of fall in there, but Chrissy, we've talked about Chrissy. I'm really, really hot on her. And what I think is going to happen is at the Game Changers finale, Jeff talked about what would happen if we have a tie at the final 2. So I have Desi and Chrissy at the final 2. And Jeff talked about that because it's probably going to happen this season. And we're playing up Ryan because Ryan is going to be in that final 3. And he's going to be the one who votes for the winner because there's a tie between the 2 of them. That is my conspiracy theory.
You know what? Alexa, in the words of you, that is a piping hot take.
It is spicy.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I could see that, though, because they're playing up Ryan so much. And I love this because we know nothing. So this is so much fun.
I hope that all three of them are listening to this.
Yeah, like they're playing up Ryan so much that this makes perfect sense, because why not? Like, here's a guy who gets the final three. Nobody's going to vote for him, let's say. And he ends up voting for the winner. I mean, you heard it here first, kids.
You heard it here first. I'm going to write a whole story about this. Stay tuned. So,
go ahead.
I'm just saying I was building this out, and Chrissy had something weird happen with Chrissy. I think it was on her CBS profile. Her answers changed. She used to say I think it used to say that Jenna Marasco was the player she would play the most like. And within the past week, it changed to Ty, and it's either Ty and Aubrey or Ty and someone. And they changed around her bio. And I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, but I'm building this up to be some big thing. But that's weird that they did that. They changed around a couple other people's. I think they played around with Ashley's too. But I think we're good. I think that's what I think is going to happen. And I'm very confident about this.
After the season ended, they just changed it to somebody they actually played like?
Yeah, maybe.
Damn.
If Chrissy played like Ty, that would be very confusing.
Yeah.
She's probably a very calculated person.
I didn't realize Desi was your winner pick.
Yes,
so,
I like implied it earlier. Desi is my winner pick. Big Desi fan.
Yeah, here's how it goes. I'm down to Desi and Patrick left, and
you just want yourself to win.
Yeah, I know. I put him at 2 though, because you know what? He's not going to win, because I would go out and I would win. Like, he can't be the one who wins. Like, no, get out of here. So I put Patrick at 2, and I actually put Desi at 1, and I didn't realize that you were going to put Desi at 1 too. So this is kind of strange.
This is crazy.
So I have Desi at 1. I actually think, like I said, after like letting this sink in, I had watched the videos, gone back to work, come home, and instantly done this podcast. Mm-hmm. So for me, like Desi, after thinking about it, she's like the most well-spoken person. She seems the most level-headed. Like, she seems physically fit. She seems like she understands social game. There's something about Desi there that I don't know. Like, I really, really liked. And I finally got over being blinded by the fact that I was playing and that Allie was playing, and like, you know, JP was great looking. Like, I finally got over that all those things. And I was like, you know, Desi's probably the best choice here. So for me, I got Desi as number 1 in the Bootlist game, just like Alexa. Wow.
This is either going to be really good or really bad for us.
Yeah. So I also forgot. We should have done this at the beginning. So hopefully you stayed with. This was probably bad. But anyway, you have to leave the Bootlist in the comment section of this YouTube video. God, forgot to do that.
Forgot to talk about that.
Completely forgot to do that. I mean, I'm so used to doing this now. Like, this is our, 4th season doing it, 5th season doing it. So I figure people kind of get it at this point. We did it in Worlds Apart. We've done it since Worlds Apart. So like 5th season. You leave your Bootlist in the comment section. That's where you put it, in the comment section. Anywhere else, we're not doing it. And like this year, I know a lot of you tweeted at us and everything. We're not doing it through Twitter. Like, comment here.
We're going to keep it in one hub. Keep it on our YouTube page. That being said, because I'm looking on Twitter. When is the deadline for this? Let's tell people the deadline.
Well, the way Will and I always did it was we just did it where just get it in by premiere day. Mm-hmm. But I might say, I think what we should do is we're going to do our fantasy draft on the Sunday, the 24th. And I think we should say that's the Bootlist deadline, because they're going to release a new preview on the 24th. They always release a new preview on the Sunday before the premiere. And in that preview, we're going to see, it's going to be deduced on all of the websites who the first boot is. So I would say the 24th.
Is the morning of the 21st, 24th, or maybe the night of the 23rd.
By the time we podcast on the 24th. I think that's what we do.
Okay. I like that.
So we'll figure out when we're going to podcast. And I would say when we podcast on the 24th, that's
going to be at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. And so we're just going to do one buff unless we get like a crazy astronomical amount of entries, which then we'll talk about it. And maybe we'll do 2. We do give the buffs out. If you don't live in America, we will get you the buff, but you got to pay for the shipping, because we had a Canadian winner last season, and like even just to Canada, like the shipping was as much as the buff.
And those buffs are pricey.
And the buffs are already like $30. Like, me and Alexa, we're not rich. Look at this. I don't have anything.
Contrary to popular belief. Yeah, this is a fake wall, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Alexa's gonna push that down because her roommate's right on the other side of it. But But yeah, so if you do, like, we don't mind. Anybody can submit. Like, that's the fun of it. But just know that if you win, we could even just Venmo you the money, and you could go buy your own buff or whatever you want to buy with your
that's actually a really good idea.
Hopefully you buy a buff, because that's the point of the game. But whatever.
Here's $35. Buy yourself a nice cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly. Like a really, really nice cheeseburger. So all of that being said, super excited about this. We will know if you cheat. Like, we will. Not that
We
Alexa.
are smarter than you think we are.
Not that Alexa and I go out and we look up boot lists. But when we start entering boot lists into this game, when we start getting like 5 or 6 in a row that look exactly the same, we know what that means. Like, we get it. We know what that means. Because
you people who chose Malcolm to go out 4th or whatever. I was like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. The people who had like the whole pre-merge right last season, it's like, come on. We're not dumb. Like, JT gets voted out with an idol. Malcolm has that crazy tribal.
Like, Caleb goes out number 2, really?
Yeah, it was 3, Alexa, 3.
Oh, jeez, you're right.
Come on, Alexa, where are
you? It was all one episode. Just
Tony was 2. Tony was 2.
Pour one out.
Okay, anyway, but you get what I'm saying. So just keep that in mind. Let me see here. Yeah, so that happened.
So just to make it crystal clear, you have to have your boot list commented on this video by the time that we podcast on Sunday, September 24th.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Perfect. Well done, Alexa.
Boom.
Go watch our cast assessment because it's in there. I'm just going to say this one. Larry Miller said, do you think Shireen hates Ryan after his comments about her? What is Ryan doing? Is Ryan causing shit? Is Ryan stirring stuff up?
I have no clue.
Me either. I have no idea. I just saw that comment and thought that was interesting. I'm just running through these real quick because I know Alexa's on her last legs here. But Gamer Girl said, good news. Jeff confirmed the revote thing is no more. That's a really good thing. Love that. And then Gamer Girl, this is a really good question, I think. Who do you think will be this season's boot list killer? Like Malcolm, Mari, and Darnell? Because Darnell was a huge winner pick. Mari was a huge winner pick. Malcolm was a huge winner pick. Who do you think it is this year?
Back here. I got to look back here. So just based on, you know what? Lauren could be a boot list killer.
But I have Lauren at 18.
Yeah, so what if Lauren goes far?
Oh, so you're going the opposite way.
Yeah, I'm going the opposite way.
Okay, so you're doing the Aubrey.
Yes, I'm pulling the Aubrey card.
You're pulling the Aubrey here.
Should have clarified that. I think a lot of people are low on Lauren because of her placement in her current tribe. But I really, as someone who put Lauren at 15, I think if she can make it out of that tribe, I think she really has a chance to form relationships and go far.
Well, here, I'll do it the same way as you then, and I'll say Simone. I'll say we're low on Simone. I think a lot of people can be low on Simone, and watch Simone finish 4th or 5th place and be like, oh, great. Everybody gets 11 points.
Lauren, final 2, and Ryan's going to be in the final 3, and he's going to get no votes, and he's going to pick for one of them.
Exactly. He's going to pick for Simone or for Lauren to win. Amazing. Let me see here. I'm just trying to roll.
Let's see. If Ryan makes it far enough, will he be the villain? I don't know. I think a lot of people just envision him being the villain because we're getting a lot of him, but he has a really cool story.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting where Ryan ends up fitting in. I don't know who the villain on this season is going to be, and I hope that it's like a villain in like the old school Survivor sense of villain. Yeah, that's like what I'm hoping for, and I kind of get that vibe from this cast. Giovanni asked, will these 6 heroes be better than the original heroes? The answer is no, because there was no better disaster than the original Heroes tribe. There was nothing better than that.
On paper, they were so perfect.
Yeah, exactly. When that tribe was announced, I was like, wow, they're going to wipe the floor with the villains. They're going to be so great to watch. They might be your final 10. And then they were down 8 to 5. And we had lost James as a hero forever. And we had lost Stephanie as a hero forever. And Stephanie was
gone, long gone.
And Tom was gone. And you're sitting there you're like, what the hell am I watching? And yeah. And they made the comeback of the century just to lose again. So great stuff. The greatest disaster of all time.
They were incredible.
And then let's see. Let's just do this last one here. Giovanni, what are the lessons these new players should learn from game changers? I would
find a freaking idol.
Yeah, exactly. Find an advantage because otherwise you're screwed. Jeff just recently said something along the lines of like Sari going out the way she did was like a dream come true or something, and it just makes me want to vomit. Like it makes me sick to my stomach.
And I remember I think we were talking about that. Like this was so wrong how she went out, but production's gonna love it.
Yeah. But we don't.
No,
That's not how I want to see Sari go out.
No, absolutely not.
All right, so get your boot lists in. You got 2 weeks. We're going to be back on the 17th with the prop bet game, which is one that we'll allow to go up through the premiere because we're given less time, and you really can't cheat at the prop bet game because, as everybody knows, blindfold. I still haven't gotten it right, so
who knows? Is this going to be your 5th one or your 4th one?
I think it's our 4th. We did. So what we did was we did boot list for 30, then we did prop bet for 31, then we did both for 32 and 33 and 34. So I guess it's my 5th.
All right. Well, let's see. Yeah. Tune in next week to see if we know who's going to find an idol, how many votes someone's going to get. Let's come up. Yeah. I think last time we talked about voting, we had voting on her mom. So we're going to obviously cater this a little bit closer to this, unless someone talks about Sierra
actually,
her mom, which could happen.
This is the perfect segue. If you have any ideas for prop bets that you would like to see, we won't necessarily use them, but throw them at us and we will see what we like best because
we may like your opinion.
That's where some of the ideas have come from in the past. There's been a lot that have come from that where it's like, that's a good one. Now, what we normally do, just so you know, we don't like it where it can only be one person. So we're not going to do first boot, we'll do winner, but we're not going to do first boot. We like doing pre-merge because then it's that could be 6, 7 people. We like doing post-merge, win immunity, find an idol. These are things multiple people can do. That's what we like. We do have most confessionals in the premiere, which is just one person is going to get that. But these are the things that we like to do. So throw us something that multiple people can do. And if it's really good, we'll use it.
Yeah. And you can leave us comments on this video. You could tweet at us. You could call us, however you guys want. The only thing that we absolutely need on this YouTube video is the boot list. And even when we talk next week or when we podcast next week, still put your boot list on this one. It's so much easier for us if we all have it. If we have it all on one page.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, we had so many entries in the Bootlist game last year. I think we almost had 300 entries in the Bootlist game last year. I don't need to go all over Twitter to try to find these. Send it, put it here so that we can just go down the list, type them all up. It's done. And if you don't do it, if you tweet it at me, I will tell you, put it on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem doing that. But
we'll give you one chance.
But if it's not on the YouTube page, it just doesn't count. That's all. Because at this point, we're not it's not like we only have 15. We have a pretty good amount, and it's a lot to keep track of. And hopefully, I still have the little algorithms Will made for the prop bet last year, because otherwise, I am screwed.
Let's just take that same Excel spreadsheet and just plug the numbers in.
Yeah, exactly. Will probably deleted it just to mess with us and be like, you thought I was gone. Yeah.
Thanks, Will. We can't have a podcast without shitting on Will.
No, well, what kind of life is that?
It's a sad one.
Happy NFL Day, everybody. The Lions are probably going to get destroyed, but hey, at least it was fun while they were 0-0.
At least the Patriots also got destroyed.
Alexa's over there with tears in her eyes. I was texting her on Thursday night, and all she did was sob and complain, and all her Boston accent was coming out through text.
Oh, my accent was super wicked.
Yeah, it was super wicked. It was horrible.
All right. Happy football day, guys. Get your boot lists in the next 2 weeks, and we will be back next Sunday.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.